said, was Mozart and Billy Tattoo? Okay, so we're just walking through.
Mary Church Terrell. Mary Church Terrell, born on September 23, 1863, died on July 24, 1954.
Mary Church Terrell was a teacher, activist, and one of the first African-American women to get a college degree. She was also important because she was one of the many women who fought for something called suffrage.
One of the first African-American women to earn a bachelor's degree, Terrell majored in the classics and went on to also earn a master's degree in education. She taught at the college and high school levels in Ohio and Washington, D.C.
In 1896, Mary Church Terrell, along with other women, started the National Association of Colored Women's Clubs.
Terrell was motivated to become active in the civil rights movement following the lynching of a friend. She helped to create the National Association of Colored Women, NACW, and spoke and wrote in support of racial equality and women's suffrage.
The association that Mary Church Terrell started brought together many different groups of Black women from all over the country, together in one single place. Now, they fought for many things, and not just the right to vote. They fought to improve the lives of women and to make sure that everyone, including women and children, had the ability to go to school and get an education. Mary Church Terrell was the first president of this association. She gave speeches and worked with other important women like Susan B. Anthony to make sure that all women had the chance to vote. Now let's get back to the image. So again, this is a painting of Mary Church Terrell from 1946.
Hotep to the servant leader scholars of Sankofa Freedom Academy Charter School. Shem Hotep, Dr. Mayat. And now it's time for the magic question. Sankofa, Sankofa, how y'all feeling? Fantastic, terrific, great, all day long. Bum, bum, bum. Whoa. And now it is time for the morning libations. We ask that you please stand strong, please stand firm, and affirm Angalea. We first ask for permission from an elder to begin. Permission has been granted in advance, and now we will begin the morning libations. Ashe. We first pour libations to the gift of life, love, and learning, and we say Ashe. We pour libations to our African ancestors who marched out of Africa and populated the entire world and gave the gift of humanity. Ashe. We pour libations to those mighty African ancestors who birthed civilization, high culture, the arts, and the sciences. We pour libations and we say Ashe. We pour libations to the mighty nations of Africa, to the cultural nations, the political nations. We pour libations to the ancient civilizations and we say Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. We pour libations to the mighty nations of Africa. We pour libations to the Yoruba, the Akan, the Igbo, the Wolof, the Hausa. We pour libations to the Zulu. We pour libations to those nations named and unnamed. We pour libations to Dagara. We pour libations to Kemet, to Nubia, those nations known and unknown. We pour libations and we say Ashe. Let's give libations and honor to Queen Nitocrit, also called Queen Nitocris, last ruling pharaoh of the 6th dynasty, Queen Nitocrit. We pour libations and we say Ashe. Some believe that this queen pharaoh completed the construction of the 3rd pyramid of Giza, initiated by King Menkaura. Others believe that Queen Nitocrit built her own pyramid at Saqqara, where it can be found is her tomb. However, to Queen Nitocrit, she was a pyramid builder and a great African queen from the past. Ashe. To Sunni Ali Burr, who ruled the ancient city of Gayo and turned it into the mighty empire of Songhai. He conquered the ancient city of Timbuktu. He conquered the ancient city of Janneh. He united all of the lands and all of the nations around him. To Sunni Ali Burr, we pour libations and we say Ashe to our ancestor warrior king. Ashe. To our ancestors who died in the wars and in Africa as they would march to the coast. Those who died in the dungeons and the barracoons, we pour libations to those ancestors and we say Ashe. To those ancestors who died en route in the Middle Passage, the torturous, treacherous journey, we pour libations and we say Ashe. To those who gave their lives in resistance, those who sank ships and burned ships, we pour libations and we say Ashe to those ancestors who were forcibly taken to a strange land in the New World, but who still fought and resisted, who still continued to fight against slavery. We pour libations and we say Ashe. We pour libations to our historian, Mavis Campbell, author of The Maroons of Jamaica. It is Mavis Campbell who taught us about Chief Tacky, Queen Nanny, and other historical figures. We pour libations to Mavis Campbell and we say Ashe.
The Revolt of Chief Tacky by Alma Norman. Reading done by Junior Roberts. Tacky, the chieftain, decided to fight. I finish with being a slave. The morning sun rose clear and bright. On him and his followers brave, his hundreds of followers brave. So cunningly he laid his plan, so fierce his courage shown, that up and down Jamaica land, men made his cause their own. They made his cause their own. But one, faint-hearted, slipped away upon that fateful morn, and many died on that sad day, for soldiers had been warned. Militiamen were warned. Oh, sad it is to have to tell, but some the challenge spurned. Once more like slaves, their spirits fell. To bondage they returned. To bondage they returned. But Coromantine Tacky fought. As long as I have breath, no man shall boast that I was caught. A bullet caused his death. Davy's bullet caused his death. A bitter bullet laid him low. No man knows where he lies. So sing a mournful song, and low beneath Jamaica skies, for in the soil he lies.
To our ancestor Tacky, who led a war against slavery, we pour libations and we say Ashe. Let us remember the rich history of Mississippi Freedom Summer 1964 that inspired the founding of Sankofa Freedom Academy Charter School and also inspired its founding mission and principles. Ashe.
We hope to send into Mississippi this summer upwards of 1,000 students from all around the country who will engage in freedom schools, voter registration activity, and open up Mississippi to the country.
They were missing on the first day of Freedom Summer, the very first day.
On June 21st, 1964, three young activists, Andrew Goodman and Michael Schwerner from New York and James Chaney from Mississippi, vanished.
To Andrew Goodman, Mickey Schwerner, and James Chaney, young men, civil rights activists who gave their lives in the Mississippi Freedom Summer, fighting for the cause. We pour libations and we say Ashe. Let us take a moment to remember and pour libations to the ancestors in our personal families. I call the names of Mama Nettie Mae Williams Washington and Papa Frank Washington. Ashe. Please call the ancestors in your personal families. Ashe. Let's give an affirmation to the leadership of Sankofa Freedom Academy Charter School. Affirmation to the upper school coordinator, Sister Tamika. Affirmation to our COO and co-founder, Brother Issa Clark. And let's give a special affirmation to our founder, COO, and head of school, Dr. Mama Aisha Imani, founder of the Eugenia Friends Peace Center, co-founder of the Philadelphia Schools Freedom School Movement. This is a great woman. She is also the executive director of Imhotep Institute Charter High School. Dr. Mama Aisha Imani. Ashe. We ask that this libation is accepted with all good intention. We ask that it is not offensive. We ask that it is understood as a cultural and educational practice of African-centered schools. Go forth with purpose. Walk in the footsteps of your ancestors so that one day the unborn will walk in your footsteps. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. It is now time for announcements and recognitions. The principle of the month is Heshima, and Heshima means respect. The Ma'at virtue of the month is order. I would like to give a recognition to our seniors. This is not all of them, only some, but I would like to recognize that although you are starting the year in a pandemic in cyber studies, you are mature, you are focused, you are our leaders, and for that I give a recognition. Ashe. Make sure you follow expectations of cyber classes, use full name, participate in class, sit and dress properly in uniform. Cameras remain on unless otherwise instructed. Thank you.
We are the servant leaders and intellectual warriors
of Sankofa Freedom Academy Charter School.
We shall always remember the sacrifices of our ancestors.
Those who were taken from their land and those whose land was taken from them.
Because we stand on the shoulders of the mighty people,
we shall build mighty shoulders for others to stand.
We pledge to develop good habits of the mind, body, and spirit.
We pledge to continue the legacy of the freedom fighters before us.
We understand that we exist because others have made it possible for us.
Because others have made it possible for us, we will make it possible for others.
Every day and everywhere.
We shall learn so that we can teach, and we shall teach so that we can change the world.
We are
Sankofa Freedom Academy Charter School,
working to restore excellence in scholarship,
culture, and community.
One heart,
one love,
one earth,
one people,
Harambe.
Amen.
now, it is time for the moment of silence. The moment of silence is used to reflect on the day. The moment of silence begins now. Ashe. Go forward and be great with purpose.